Hiya, evening. Hi guys. Sorry I'm a wee little bit late. Right, let me just make sure I've got all my. Hi Izzy, hi Callum. How's everyone doing tonight? Did anyone get to see the solar eclipse? I actually did, and it was pretty darn amazing. Hello, Louis. Do you have to release yourself into clearing before you can get verbal offers? Nope. No, you don't, Louis. First question of the night. Well done. Hello, Mia, my love. Um, I've clicked go live before. I've made you moderator. Lesson learned, Clem. Lesson learned. My apologies. Um, so you don't need to self-release yourself before you get verbal offers. Think about verbal offers like trying on something in a clothes shop. You don't need to buy the thing to try it on. It's a similar thing with verbal offers. You can collect as many as you want, and then you can decide to take it through to clearing via releasing yourself. Does that make sense, Louis? I'm going to go Insta and TikTok live. Sorry, okay. Uh, PXLMYZ. What courses are available in Durham? Let's have a look. Which courses PX are you interested in? UCAS course search. Sorry if I'm looking this way, it's just my second screen. And also PXLMZY, where are you located? Because that's vital. Can you tell me really quickly, PXLMZY, where are you located? Are you located in England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, EU, or international? That will dictate whether I can tell you. That'd be good ones. I want to take advantage of the discounted grades. I'm a home student. Okay, cool. So home student. So we're going to say England. Let's say save that. And then I'm literally doing, no, at the moment, nothing's in clearing. Let's have a look. Durham clearing. There will be tomorrow, I promise you. Waiting for results. Register your interest. Etc. How clearing works. I think they're going to release it tomorrow. Chat University, he's made this website where you can see universities in clearing. I don't know how he's found this information out. I'm just going to look at what he has. So Durham has places. The courses aren't listed yet. They'll come at the 8 a.m. on the 13th. There we go. That was a long answer to one question. Right, Instagram question. So Louis, I've done you. Tick. Izzy Wills. 82. Did you say on a vid you need to call them twice to ask about availability and to get an offer? No, you don't need to call them twice. Just call them once. It will probably take about 30 minutes to get onto the phone to them. Just stay on the phone and then you ask if you get a verbal offer. So no, just call them once. Okay. Thanks, Lex Media. Absolutely. Good luck, everyone. How's everyone feeling? Kaya from TikTok, how do you put the verbal offer onto your UCAS? It's really, really simple, Kia. So let's say you have 3 verbal offers. Let's also say you've got your insurance choice. Maybe you missed your firm, but you have got your insurance choice. And you decide to take one of the verbal offers through. You will decline your insurance, and then it will automatically put you into clearing, and then you just add a clearing choice like you did originally on your UCAS form. You know how you put 5 courses, the title, the university? It will be exactly the same thing, but instead of doing 5 you'll just choose 1, and that's it. Kaya. I hope that's clear. Okay, Insta. Lana Banana, great name. It's Lana from your personal statement workshop a while back. Oh, hi, nice to see you. I'm so scared some people accidentally got early emails from Barts for Med today, and I'm yet to hear back as it's meant to be. Yeah, I think there's always this. I had a really worried dad from Dubai saying some of the kids in class have got their results already. How's that happen? Like, I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. Just try. I know this is a really difficult one, Lana. I just try and kind of put the headphones on and run to your own rhythm tonight, tomorrow. I have advice. Everybody on social media is going to say loudly, do this, do that. Ultimately, they're making content and then profiting from it. You have to, all of you in this room, whether you're family, whether you're a student, you have to just run to your own beat now. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you make the decisions accordingly. And kind of drown out that loud noise, okay? Because I think it is just loud noise. Okay, Tiki Toki, Izzy. if we get a verbal offer but decide to not choose it, should I call them back and decline? Absolutely not, Izzy. You don't need to do anything. It's almost like in a dress shop, you tried on a couple of dresses. You don't go to the checkout and say, I'm not going to buy these two, but I will buy this one, okay? You just leave it in the changing room and take the one through. It's exactly the same. So the metaphor does really work. No problem, Louis. Okay, Insta. Moatina. Interesting name. Motini. Sorry if I said the name really wrong, Insta. So also, we have a long list for clearing. Does it make sense to list them in order of tariff rankings before making the final list for 3 to 4? Thanks, Claire. So I think I would make sure, I would have option A, B, C, and D, and absolutely, as you say, rank them in tariff or A level or BTEC equivalent. And yeah, I think that's a brilliant strategy, Martina, and that's actually what I do with my students. I kind of come up with A, B, C, and D. So yeah, I think that's a great chat. Do it, and everyone nick that. Okay, TikTok. Tarek, good luck everyone. Absolutely. Ruby, so nervous. Babe, it's totally normal. It would be odd not to be nervous, but like, I just randomly took my kids up to this hill in South London to look at the solar eclipse. There was a really amazing moment that generally you realise how insignificant every aspect of our lives is. Your life is long, my friend. We are all hopefully, well, you guys hopefully going to live till you're at least 100. There is so many amazing periods of success for you. There are so many pitfalls and learning curves. Tomorrow is a key moment, but there are multiple key moments. And it is really true. I think I've scheduled a post as a beautiful speech from a poet and writer who did a graduation speak at the University of Warwick. This beautiful speech about failure and learning from it. And the key, regardless of what happens tomorrow, is how you cope with it, how you roll with the punches, and just really do take that long view, and know that this is really, it is so microscopic in the swing of things. I know that sounds really lame, but it's true. 189 messages from TikTok. I'm going to keep going. Right, Insta. Naz, what if I get an interview through clearing and they reject me and it's too late to apply somewhere else? Naz, it won't be too late to apply somewhere else. Clearing runs until the 19th of October, so you have a long period of time. The interview it's really interesting. UCL, they normally will reply within 3 days. That's a long period of time. Interviews, I would suggest that you're here by Monday. That is plenty of time, I promise you. But what I would do, Naz, and anyone who is going to go through a verbal interview experience, which is like for healthcare pathway, I would also have another couple of verbal offers up my sleeve, so that if it doesn't result in an offer, I can immediately go back to that verbal offer that I got earlier. Okay, so if you have an interview and you're waiting, just get some more verbal offers while you're waiting. You can still do that. By the way, we've got 200 messages on TikTok. There's one of me. If you know the answers to any of these questions, guys, please, it would be amazing to respond and reply. I know Mia will be doing her best to reply, but please feel free to share thoughts in the chat, because that would just be very, very cool. Okay, Aria, what's the best route for medicine if I don't have the grades? I mean, I would say probably, frankly, actually, I wouldn't do the grad med route because it's incredibly competitive. I would go into nursing or an applied healthcare field. I'd work my way up through the system and look to go into medicine in about 6 years' time. That sounds mad, but that's what I would do. Nasli from TikTok, what if I get an interview through clearing? Oh right, Nasli, there we go, we've already answered you. Okay, Mariella from TikTok, I've been emailed different clearing numbers to your sheet. Which ones should you use? Do the ones that you've been emailed, and then if you no success, go to my numbers. They change all the time, and that is because universities will have multiple clearing numbers because they are preparing for being inundated. So use the one that you've been given, Mariella. Thank you. From Insta, Paul WQSH8. Any good unis for accounting and finance in England? I can't find any good ones in clearing. PAL, if anyone is asking me to have a look at what's available in clearing for them, you need to tell me where you are applying from. It sounds like you're an international student, so I'm just going to have a look for you as an international for accounting and finance. I know damn fine there is actually actually a lot for accounting and finance. I'm just going to do this really quickly, assuming that you are an international. Let me just scroll down for you. I've so far Aston is the top third. Birmingham, there we go. Birmingham done. Cardiff done. City, amazing. Durham, accounting and finance at Durham. There we go. UEA, loads. Okay, TikTok. Liolua. Sorry if that's totally wrong. The course isn't available on the university website, but is it on UCAS Hub? You will need to check because I don't know what course you're applying for. Bray, do you know what the best clearing options are for economics? When you say options, what do you mean? As in, what is a good course for economics and clearing? Are you from Englandy? Let's assume that you are. Let's just put economics. I would hope that maybe someone like an Exeter, a Bristol. So Aston has got one. Birmingham, Bristol. Here we go. Cardiff, City, UEA, all great. Essex, strong. Heriot-Watt, strong. Glasgow, super strong. Kiel, Lancaster, Kent, Leicester, Liverpool, Loughborough. Oh my gosh, loads. How do I know where my UCAS ID is? Great question on TikTok. If you log into your UCAS, it should be on the. If you log into your UCAS and then head into your portal, it should be on the top right. That should be pretty easy. But also, if you don't know, you can just say your first name. But take some time to find out. Thank you, Molly from TikTok. If you need a remark, which number do you call to tell the uni? Is it the clearing one or the different one? Molly, great question. I would go through the clearing one. They are the most activated phones. They might tell you to email that information. They might tell you to call a certain person, but essentially I would start with the clearing phone call. Lisa from Insta, do you need to be accepted when you have a verbal offer and put it in UCAS, or is it an instant acceptance? Great question, Lisa. It is literally a verbal offer. So it sounds like, well, hopefully it sounds like there is a little bit that needs to be done to make that verbal offer a real concrete offer. So when you put your verbal offer in your UCAS as a clearing choice, the university then needs to do their part of the bargain and accept it. If everything that you have shared in the verbal offer phone call is true and accurate, you will be met with a confirmation. It might be 24 hours, it might be 48 hours, it might be Monday, but it will be accepted. But at the point at which the university accepts it, that is confirmation. And never in my experience has a verbal offer not been met with an actual offer. Skylar Spam, help me out. There are no maths courses that are Russell Group without an A in maths. I'm scared. Well, bearing in mind, Skylar, the course requirement of an A is literally their standard offer, so it's not their clearing offer. Skylar, are you England? Are you based in England? So let's have a look. I mean, you could look at a joint course. By the way, I've just had this and it's absolutely delicious. Poppy raspberry rose. Oh my gosh, so nice. Yeah, you could look at something like mathematical physics. Birmingham has mathematical science, physics at Southampton, mathematical physics at Southampton. Again, Southampton's got mathematical science. Have a look at Southampton. You will need to call them. Have a look at Cardiff. They've got maths. I would be surprised if they don't drop maths. UEA, they will be flex. Exeter maths. So even though it doesn't say it, I think you'll be fine. Yes, PXLMZY. It is on the Durham website tomorrow. Okay, Instagram. Do we need GCSE results and personal statements to hand when calling, please? Absolutely, you need your GCSE results. You don't need your personal statement to hand. When you give your UCAS ID, that will be giving them permission to review the personal statement. But the key thing, I do think that's a really good shout, Mazzini, is to just go over your GCSEs, particularly maths and English language. Key. Thank you for that. Okay. Math. Is it worth calling firm and insurance, even if they decline, to see if they could be lenient after? Math, I think it's a good question. I get asked a lot and I do share it a lot on my videos. I would say you absolutely can, but I wouldn't make it your first, second, or third call. I would focus in the first instance of getting some verbal offers with what you've got. And then on Friday or Monday evening, yes, fine, you can call your firm and insurance to see if there's any more leniency or room for manoeuvre. The reality is, the environment of higher education, the more year on year universities do what they can to keep you. And essentially, if you think about it, it makes sense, doesn't it? Why would they release someone to then open up to another person in clearing who got exactly the same results as the person that they wanted in the first place? So they will do what they can to keep you. So I would not make it your first call. Preet, is there a time limit that you have to accept firm or insurance? Really good question. Yes, but the time limit will be completely up to that university, and that is why you must ask it on the phone. So it's great if you get a verbal offer, but don't just put the phone down. Remember, ask questions about accommodation, ask questions about employability if you're not so sure about the course, but fundamentally ask how long do you have to accept that verbal offer, because you don't want to just be like stressing needlessly, and maybe you've got till Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., or maybe you've got till the end of Thursday. You must ask. Okay, really important to ask. MS and who from Insta 1978. If unis currently don't have any courses online such as Durham, where would they appear tomorrow? Thank you. Yeah, great question. So I would start with the Durham website. And then UCAS. Interestingly, Durham has got courses on UCAS course search already, but for international offerings. And that's probably largely because international students already have their grades, not unless they did international A-levels, but generally. But I would start with University of Durham. I would start with the University of Durham website. Sorry if I'm speaking really quickly, I'm just trying to get through loads. Right. Eva, one of my exams had an administrative error. They are using an X score. Is this better for me or worse? They're using a Z score. No idea, Eva. No idea what that means. I think it sounds like you're going to have to speak to your teacher and make sure that you work together to communicate with the university, basically. Hannah, if I end up getting D's or E's, is there still a chance of getting to uni? Absolutely, Hannah. The reality for you is you will absolutely find a course in clearing. I would say you probably will be looking more at foundation courses at the higher ranking universities, which isn't a bad thing. But I do think for you, really do take a pause and think, what went wrong for me? Is academic learning the way forward for me, or might it be better to take a gap year, get experience, get some money, and apply for degree apprenticeships? I'm just saying, have a variety of options, and tomorrow absolutely create a cluster of options for you, but then take the night, take a night to think about it. The lower down you go in terms of offer like if we're dealing with D's and E's, you will have longer to decide, so you're not going to need to decide there and then. I hope that helps. I don't mean to be dismissive. No one really thrives in exams. Very few people anyway. So I'm not kind of discounting your absolute brilliance, but it is important to properly reflect upon it. Okay, Insta Phoebe 92. Okay, thank you. Ryan Cosgrove. Law isn't in clearing at York. Do you think it may come up tomorrow? Probably not, actually. Law, probably. I mean, interestingly, I can have a look at what is available for law at the moment. But for York, for such a selective university, no, it won't come up. It's a selective course. So law is at Aston already. Law is at Cardiff. Interesting. Law is at UEA. Law is at Kent, is at Keele. All of the ones I'm reading out are really good providers. Lancaster, University of Law, Leicester. So law is going to come up, but I don't think Liverpool is law. Wow, Loughborough, it's law. That's fundamental. That's mad. Newcastle, Nottingham Trent, there's law. So there's lots of options, but I would doubt York. Okay. I really hope everyone's still here. I appreciate there's just loads of questions. Are all the courses in clearing right now? Will it change tomorrow? Yes, it will change tomorrow. If my course is not in clearing, does that mean they will be very strict with the grade requirements? Not necessarily. Partly it's an advantage if it's not in clearing it. You could take the other view that they've actually worked really hard at keeping all their offer holders. So no. Cameron, what website to use to look at clearing spaces? I would always start with the UCAS course search. I think it is the most verified. And then I would go to the individual website. I would go to UCL clearing, etc. Do you think Med Foundation will go into clearing? No, I do not. Thanks, Tom. York Law was massively oversubscribed last year. Yeah, thanks. Right, I've gone right down to the bottom of my messages. So if you added a message that I haven't read out and you added it maybe 10 minutes ago, just keep replying, keep adding it. And Jaden is also here, and he is absolutely amazing, and he is doing God's work. Winchy, can I decline my insurance? Can I decline my insurance whilst on phone to a clearing uni to get that verbal offer? Which you don't need to move that quickly. You don't need to decline something whilst doing something else. Get your verbal offers, get a couple, take some time, and then once you've decided, you can decline your insurance. But you don't need to multitask as madly as that, I promise. Demi, is it worth applying for foundation or just lower requirement unis? Demi, I think that is a really personal call, and I think that is a call based on the specific facts of your situation. My overall view, my general view, which isn't specifically applied to you, but it is my general view, is that it would be better to go to a foundation at a higher ranking university than an undergrad at a lower ranking university. Also, because foundation suggests that it's a chance to catch up academically, to check out that course, to check out that university, and to give you a bit more of a kind of a bit more leeway. But these lower ranked universities are also wicked providers for the community, for students, have a brilliant career profile, have great contacts with industry. So that's it's general without knowing your specifics. But I think you need to take a view, and I think you can only take a view if you have the information in front of you. And specifically, if you're looking at undergrad at like lower ranking universities, you need to ask, what is the employability? What is the return on investment? What is my teaching workload like? Like, you don't want to be investing £9,790 a year in something that has an hour teaching load. You know, like, you need to ask those questions. Insta. I'm going to go right down to the bottom, so same things applies. Insta, really exciting. This is the highest volume of people on Insta that I've ever had on a live. Bear in mind, it is the third live I've done on Insta, but you are very welcome. Thank you for being here. Okay, and Min. If I don't get my first choice, can I apply again through clearing for the same course is available? So I've covered this question quite a lot. So guys, can you apply to a course that you have been rejected from in clearing? You certainly can, but I would say you are almost wasting your time, because the university will have done what it can to keep you. I would say if you are really, really determined to investigate it further, by all means, contact them, ask, but don't make it your first or second point of view, your first or second call. Okay. Oh, Heniba. Can I go through clearing if I'm taking a gap year? I'm starting next year. So my view is, in my experience, students asking in clearing for a deferred place will not happen. And it's not because it's an impossible request, it's because of the timing. Essentially, deferring should have been asked months ago, and it's quite easy. Universities are fine with it, but now my opinion of clearing is for universities to fill their seats for that academic year. That being said, it does depend, and it is totally at the point of view of the university and how much they like you, how comfortable and secure their course is. So, long answer, you can ask, and you need to ask, right? And that's it. Okay. Michael Synth, do you know anything about UAL requiring BTEC certificate to be uploaded? My school said they send all results, including BTEC, alongside A-levels. Will I know if I got in the morning? Thank you. Your school don't send results. They are distributed not via... Who actually distributes the results? I think it's UCAS, but your school doesn't distribute it, or it's connected via UCAS ID. You should. But essentially, you should get a decision first thing tomorrow morning. Are you applying for an art-based course? Are extenuating circumstances taken into consideration? They absolutely are. How? It's a bit of smoke and mirrors, unfortunately. Although, also, if you are interested in extenuating circumstances, check out the Sutton Trust Contextual Offer tool. So Sutton, SUTTON, Contextual Offer tool, and it goes through what each university would consider for extenuating circumstances. They certainly do consider them. but again, it's that kind of like, it's almost like the gap year question. It's how at this point in time they are considered. On initial application, they're completely considered. But yeah, it's a question that you need to ask. Right, let's go to Tiki Toki. Tom, hello Tom. It's not a question, is it? Tom's just doing God's work. Love Tom. Tom is, have you finished, Tom? Tom has just finished at York, I believe, and going into a master's in law. Ella. Do you think psychology at Sheffield will be in clearing? Potentially. Yeah, potentially. Do you think diagnostic radiography at BCU will be in clearing tomorrow, as it isn't right now? Maybe not. Diagnostic radiography is one of those very niche, very specific applied healthcare courses that I would say, I mean, look, there's a chance it's BCU, but I would say maybe not. Prepare, no. Courses that often do come up in applied healthcare are nursing, mental health nursing, child nursing, those kind of things. So think about that. Do you think Bristol Neuroscience will be in clearing? Yeah, maybe. Maybe, yeah. Oliver, how do I see courses new clearing offered tomorrow? So just keep updating UCAS track. Keep updating it, and then just so have a kind of a structure. You get your results, then you go to UCAS track, update it, keep refreshing it, and then go to specific university website if you're not totally sure. So yeah. Debum, if your grades don't meet the initial requirement but the clearing offer does, is your place secure? I guess what you're saying. Yeah, basically. So Hannah, how long do you accept offers? You have to ask them. For any Russell Group uni, do any Russell Group unis do foundation for law? Yes. Let's just have a look. Foundation law. Actually, no, it's not foundations in law. Law. Hang on, it's law with foundation. Mostly law. You might just have to do a foundation year that's like a general foundation year in like social science. So I've literally just put law with foundation year in my UCAS track. I'm just looking now. Oxford Brookes, it's not a Russell Group, but Russell Group as a moniker doesn't matter. University of Law, really great provider. Sheffield, law with foundation year is available. Surrey, law with foundation year is available. So yes. One sec. Leicester, law with foundation. So yes, short answer. Right, Insta. I'm sorry, I am ignoring you. Right. Anisha, can't see any accounting and finance course at University of Manchester currently listed on the clearing website. Is that likely to change? No, I think for accounting and finance, no. I think there will be course in clearing in Manchester, but probably not that one. It's a really popular course. Naz, yeah, agreed. RE diagnostic radiography. I would suspect it would stay closed. To Leah Tungs. Hi, if I've just decided to take a gap year and I've got into King's, is there a reason they've not allowed me to defer? My fee status is going to change through the gap year from international to home. Yes, there's a reason that they might not accept your deferring, and it's because it's the time of which you're asking. But what you should do now, tonight, is go to your King's Apply portal and put this in writing, because ultimately it's not really a clearing question and it is up to the course provider. But basically their reason for declining you is we right now are trying to fill our seats. The best case scenario will be yes, but we will let you know in a couple of days, so it won't be an immediate answer. How many grades below could you get for your firm and get accepted? It's there's no science here. It's totally dependent upon the university and your course, and indeed how much they like you. Do I think optometry will be in clearing? I think it might. I don't think it'll be. Let's just have a look now. I don't think there'll be loads of optometry courses. I mean, there's not loads of optometry courses anyway. Orthoptics is already in clearing at Sheffield. What is orthoptics? B Med-Sci 3 years, but so I think they will, but maybe not loads. B, when should we start applying for clearing courses? I have 2 A-levels already waiting and 2 or more. Cool. So B, you start applying when you get your second results tomorrow morning. So from 8 a.m, start getting some verbal offers. Thank you for everything you do. Can I ask how long the clearing window is, please? Thank you, Maleka. No problem. It runs until the 19th of October. But in terms of how long you have to decide and all that kind of thing, it'll be totally dependent upon the university. So please ask them. For Sheffield, apparently it's for mature students foundation year. I'm confused. Yes, it might have been. Sorry, all I'm looking at is just like the headline figures. Let me just go back. I can't even remember. It was law with foundation, wasn't it? That so you just have to, don't be confused. It's just I'm not going to go back there because it's boring. I think you've just got to go and check every like when you see the university course and clearing, go and look at the fine print. Yola, my school gives results at 9 but clearing opens at 8. Can I call up at 8 and give my UCAS ID? I mean, you can call up at 8, but if you don't have your results, it will be a wasted phone call. You have to get your results. Most schools give out results from 9. It's not odd. Honestly, by losing an hour, you're not going to lose anything. What do I do if my school gives out results at 9 instead of 8? You what I would say is you try not to look at your UCAS track and you get your results and then you look at your UCAS. I applied to University of Birmingham and I'm waiting for an unconditional offer and CAS letter. When will I receive? Do you know? Yes. So you will get your CAS if your offer has been confirmed from the University of Birmingham. So you are still, presumably you're waiting for your results because that's why you don't have an unconditional. As soon as they get your results, they will make your offer an unconditional and they will also release a CAS letter, which you can then use for your visa. So yeah, and things will move very quickly from this point. I'm waiting for my GCSE reset results. Will I be disadvantaged for clearing? So it's an interesting one. Yes and no, quite frankly. Unfortunately, you cannot go through clearing tomorrow because you have to wait until next week to get all the whammy stuff. However, the universities that you're waiting to hear from presumably will know that you are waiting for GCSE results. So your firm and insurance will still be on hold. It will basically be pending until the 20th of August. It just means that yes, you won't be going through the flurry of clearing with everyone else, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's ebbs and flows throughout the week, so no. How quick will courses move from compete courses like econ at high move for competitive courses? Like they will move quickly. But quickly, let's slow it down. I don't mean within the 30 minutes. Remember, no student ever can put a clearing choice in their UCAS track until 1 p.m. So everybody, whether you're collecting your results at 9 or 10, has time for at least 3 verbal offer phone calls. So I would say, however, for a competitive course like econ at a high-ranking university, within the day, basically. That you put the clearing choice by the end of the day on the 13th. So yeah. What do I do if my school? Yeah, I've answered that one. Okay, Insta. While I take a plug of water. Saki, do universities like LSE, Imperial, or other Russell groups increase their master's requirements even when they state a requirement is a 2-1? No, quite frankly. No, Naz, you won't need a new personal statement. If you are changing your course, just be ready to explain why you want to do the course, but they won't really ask about the personal statement. Bindi, can you apply to foundation courses without meeting the contextual requirements in clearing? If the foundation course that is in clearing has contextual eligibility, then no. Basically, unfortunately, you need to have that. You need to have the eligibility to meet the offer. Mills Salek, if the university I want to apply to has the UCAS tariff, NA, how will I know if I have enough tariff points to apply for the clearing course? Yeah, it's a really good question. You won't. You will just need to call them up. Lots of universities, by the way, sorry, that was really loud. Lots of universities don't have a UCAS tariff next to it. But what you can do, actually, Mills, sorry, I'm not thinking about it. Go to the university course and look up entry requirements of the undergrad. And then if you're 3 grades away, then I wouldn't bother. But if you're within 2, then yeah, have a go at calling them. Penny, how will I find out whether I qualify for special consideration? you won't really, unless you ask and you do a freedom of access request, or or you get in and you have significantly lower offers than everyone else, basically. um but it's not, like I say, it's not smoke and mirrors. It's just not an exact science, because it's applied personally, which is right and proper. If I have an unconditional offer, do I have to confirm with the uni that I'm definitely coming after tomorrow? Yes, you do. If you are holding a Furmore insurance and you meet the Furmore insurance, you will just have to do one final kind of confirmation. And remember, this is kind of slightly mad, confirming your place on UCAS is not enrolling on the university. So if there's any parents here or any family members, I'm doing a live with UCAS on the 18th of August on Tuesday, all about preparing families for the transition. And the big headline is UCAS, enrolling on UCAS, confirming on UCAS is not the same as enrolling at the university, so just don't get caught out. Are the University of Liverpool lenient? Depends upon the course. I mean, they're all lenient if they're in clearing, but ultimately depends upon the course. Zenith, if there is no clearing space for a course, does that mean each person has met their offer and are accepted? Basically, yeah. Sahana, how many courses can you apply to? How many courses can you apply in one uni? So, Sahana, you can apply to as many as they give you verbal offers, but remember, you are walking that tightrope between being a serious candidate who wants to do something very clear and being, oh, just let me in, I don't care. Remember, this process is a mutually beneficial process for both of you. And whilst they want to get you in and find a course that's suitable, they don't want you to just be like, I'll just sign up to anything. There needs to be a degree of strategy. Does that make sense? I thought internationals have already gotten their results. Why there are so many courses for them? So no, Sana, not every international student has got their results. Some do, quite a lot do international A level and are waiting till tomorrow. Also, lots of students who have their results are still seeing pending on their UCAS track, because UK universities want to see how low they have gone in relation to how low English candidates have gone, and make a decision as to who is the best place for their ultimate clearing places. Shayna, should you call later in the afternoon in case more clearing spots come about? So it's a really interesting thing about results day. 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is probably 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. It is manic. It is not manic, but it's very lots. Everyone's calling, lots of energy, and then from 10 a.m. it drops off quickly, and that's because students very quickly get verbal offers that they want. It's very procedural. It's not as scary as people think, and people get sorted very quickly. By 1 p.m. it is like almost dead. And bearing in mind this is in school, and my experience of seeing it is that's when I see it. But basically the point is, it's a really cool idea to call in the afternoon because things are a lot more available. But remember, have that view. Clearing runs until the 19th of October. Okay, Insta. Tired mum, happy kids, love it. If I've only decided to take a gap year, what should I do? So I would, tomorrow, I would give the clearing phone call a call, and I would explain you're currently holding an offer, but you would like to defer it. Is that something that they could do there and then? They probably will say, no, you will need to email X person, and they will let you know in the next kind of 5 working days, and that will be what you need to do. Meanwhile, you can maybe do some verbal offers, phone calls, be like, hey, would you accept me for a deferred entry? And, shop around a bit. But ultimately, the request is a totally valid request. It's just the timing of the request is not really for tomorrow, but still ask it. Lauren Perry, can I receive multiple verbal offers and then reject them? Yes, you can, Lauren Perry. Remember, think about the metaphor of when you're trying on loads of shoes, you do not take all of those pairs of shoes that you've tried on, give them to the checkout and say, I don't want those, 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 but I do want those. You just leave the shoes because we're British, or you don't say individually, I'm not taking, you literally just say, I'm taking that one pair of shoes through. It's the same. You will just have to confirm in UCAS with the one that you want to take through. Tanisha, can universities let you onto a foundation course that isn't on clearing, but of course you would go into after the foundation year is? No. If the course isn't in clearing, you won't be able to get into it. Tom, will more maths courses be available? Yes. At competitive universities, I have maths, physics, quick, but want to change maths or maths and stats. Yeah, Tom, I think it will. I can't guarantee which universities, but yes, I think there'll be a few. So Naz, if I get an interview, how long will it take to finally get an offer? They might give you an offer on the phone in that interview. That happened last year with nursing at Exeter. They might be Friday, they might be Monday. I would say the longest it will be Monday, or depending. The longest it will be. The longest it will be 2 days post interview. They know that you need to make decisions. By the way, is anyone on here waiting for the August reconsideration pool at Cambridge? I haven't heard about any student this year, but that's maybe just because it's not my pool. And Amex. I'm self-funded and get my university place through clearing. How do I find out when my first tuition fee payment is due? So as soon as you get your place confirmed tomorrow on clearing, you need to make a what do you need to do? You need to pre-enroll with that university ASAP, because they will, if you're self-funding, they will require a specific amount of deposit to be paid within the next couple of weeks, and they will in that pre-enrollment share the information about when it's due. But ultimately, I would say deposit will be due by probably like ASAP, and then the rest of that terms amount will be due by a fixed date. But essentially, as soon as you get the call, I was about to say update student finance, you need to pre-enroll with the university. And I would say, Anne, on that phone call, that you need the pre-enrollment details ASAP, because you need to know the fee, the tuition fee payment threshold, the payment kind of deadlines. Lavender Grove. If I get into my firm, but I now prefer my insurance, do I need to go through clearing? Yeah, basically. If anyone wants to go through their insurance, but gets their firm, then yes, the insurance is lost, and they have to go through clearing to get it back again. Anaya. Before 1 p.m, do I have to note what verbal offers I've got? Then after 1 p.m, put them into, yes, correct, Anaya. I mean, you definitely either like keep a record of them, or like, I don't know, screen record them, or record the phone calls. But yeah, you need to remember who you got verbal offers from, so then you can decide which one to take through. Mina from TikTok, will there be more pharmacy coursing clearing tomorrow, because there isn't many right now? Yeah, there'll be a few more, but not loads. Does Oxford Uni ever accept lower grades than originally offered? Yes, it does. So 2 years ago, and this is just 2 years ago, but every year it will do it. 2 years ago, my student didn't meet their offer and still got accepted, and that is because they absolutely adored him. For Warwick, law and sociology is in clearing, and it's my first choice. What does this mean for my results? I would hope it's good news for you, unless your results are significantly lower than expected. Harlan, after 1 p.m, how long does it take for your clearing choice to be confirmed? So Harlan, it depends, and you must ask. I would say it's anywhere from 48 hours to Monday afternoon. It sometimes takes a bit long, and it's kind of, I appreciate it's quite a stressful experience, but we'll be going through it together, and I will be ensuring that you won't feel on your own and just be like left in silence. But yeah. Will unis in clearing look at me less? Sorry, you've gone. Will unis in clearing look at me less if I'm a research student and I still get good results? No. Everyone panics that resets are not appreciated, but no, you're absolutely fine. If you get good results, you get good results. Happy days. If you're clearing to change course, do you need to tell them, have a new personal statement? Rory, I don't think you'll need a new personal statement, no, but you will need a clarity as to why you want to do the course. The verbal offer phone call is a very soft, very gentle phone call that is, again, they want you because you've got good grades, you want them because you want to go to university. They're not going to be like, tell me why do you want to do this course? They'll be like, really why? Give me some super curriculum done. It's not like that. So yeah. What's a good alternative to pharmacy? I mean, there is pharmaceutical chemistry. What about, what's the opposite of pharmacy? Pharmacology. It's very chemistry based. Also just chemistry. And if you want like to be working with the public, probably like nursing. That's like an applied healthcare pathway, isn't it? No, foundation in medical won't go in clearing. Medicine also won't be in clearing. I've said it on the internet. I got 1 grade below my offer, but my course is on clearing, so does that increase my chances? Potentially, Jess, potentially. Can I apply for clearing at the same uni as my firm? Yes, you can. they're not really going to be like, whoa, hang on, you're holding a firm. Yeah, don't worry about that. You're fine. Thank you, Lauren. That's really kind. You are going to smash it, everyone. Oh, yeah. Should I go for finance and accounting at University of Birmingham or urban planning and real estate at UCL? So I defo have a view on that. I think you need to be very clear with yourself about their very different courses. One is much more academic, one is much more applied. My issue with stuff like urban planning and real estate is, why are you doing a degree in it? That is not a degree. That is something that would be amazing as a degree apprenticeship. Or that being said, UCL is an amazing name, but for that trajectory, I would look to do a degree apprenticeship. I think finance and accounting at University of Birmingham would be amazing, but you've got to ask yourself, is that really what you want to do? So I'm not going to give you an answer, I'm afraid. Whichever one you think works. Okay. Insta. Okay. Naz, I get into my firm and no longer want to go there. Do I reject both and go through clearing? Naz, listen, I think you've asked this quite a lot and you need to understand this. You do not reject anything to go through clearing. Clearing, you only go through clearing when you've got a collection of verbal offers and you decide which one you want to take through. It's only at that point that you reject. You don't reject to go through clearing in the first place. Sorry, I sound a bit arsey there, didn't I? But I want you to know that. Binti. Thank you. I'm not, but most appreciated. I'm a highly flawed professional who life is falling apart around me. My house is falling apart. But anyway, Claire's braid bar. Is it only worth calling about courses that have been placed on clearing, or is it worth contacting a mission tutor for courses you're interested in but haven't been listed? Thank you. No, don't waste your time. Focus on courses available on clearing. You won't get through to an admission tutor. Tomorrow is about the courses in clearing. You keep your eye out for courses that change throughout the day and Friday and Monday, but no, don't waste your time. Anita Jayan, is there a good place that you recommend students go to make clearing calls? Do you mean like where the environment, which is better to stay at school or to go home? I think it really is about where your child or where the student feels comfortable. I encourage students at my school to make them at school because I can support them, other colleagues can support them, but it is a frenetic environment with people celebrating, people crying, people taking photos, BBC journalists, blah, 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 blah. I think it's about where your child feels comfortable, where there's good signal, where there's a calmness. And remember, ideally, if it was me going through clearing, and bearing in mind I know quite a lot about it, I would go into school to get my results. I would check my UCAS track. I would have a quick conversation with my teachers about whether there was any priority remarking to be done. I might call one university while I'm there to get a verbal offer, and then I would go home and I would have a cup of tea, and then I would start making the clearing phone calls from 10. But I would take control of it, and I'd be like, I want to be comfortable. I want to have tea at my beck and call, and I want my mum. Do you know what I mean? But that's me personally. I'm only 43, and I want my mum. Zenith, I hope your course goes into clearing too. What if I only resat one subject, so I use my grades from this year and last year? Correct. Yeah, correct. If I want to resit, should I tell my teachers tomorrow? Not necessarily APQ1Z. I think your teachers might be a bit distracted. It depends upon the vibe. If there is somebody available that you have a good relationship with, then yes, speak to them. But I would probably sleep on it and then email them. Maybe, so the reality is they will be, they're kind. Your teachers are kind of on holiday, and I know, this teacher has 6 weeks holiday. What a joke! Blah blah blah. It's not. They work absolutely damn hard, so they're going to be in voluntarily, not being paid tomorrow. They'll want to leave quite quickly, and the same again next Thursday. If I were you, for it to land really clearly, I'd write it in an email for their inbox in September. But yeah. Yeah, Mia's saying something that I really relate to. Resets aren't the best choice in the long run. I didn't opt for reset and I'm glad about it. Like, I think with resets, I think you need to all be very honest with yourselves about what you're trying to achieve. How would you feel if you don't get the results? What does your life, your week, your day look like if you're resetting? What about looking at a foundation offering that moves you forward into a different level of study, as opposed to doing the same thing and expecting different results? Sophia, I had to move house during the middle of A-levels due to separation. Should I mention this? 100%, Sophia, 100%. And I would actually work with your school. So Sophia's case is a really good example for someone who probably should be making verbal offer phone calls at school, where her teacher could corroborate what she's saying. Last year, universities don't want to hear from teachers, they don't want to hear from parents, they want to hear from students. But when a student was explaining a kind of similar situation, the student was like, would you like to talk to my teacher to have that corroborated? And the university said yes, and I spoke to them. So yeah. What are the chances that Imperial lets me in after narrow miss due to extenuating circumstances? Ali 3141, you are going to come back this time tomorrow and tell us. By the way, I'm going live tomorrow to kind of decompress and share strengths, weaknesses, how we're feeling, strategies for Friday, that kind of thing. So come back and tell us. There's a chance. I wouldn't bet my bottom dollar on it, and if I were you, I'd definitely be creating some alternatives, but there is a chance. Mod tomorrow. Are we going to mod tomorrow? Clem, I would love it, Mia, if you could. I just need to work out how to get you to mod on multi-stream. But yeah, but Mia, only don't worry if you can't. Like I don't think I even asked you. So yeah, don't worry. You're busy. You have a life. I get it. But Mia is my new assistant, so but only starting in September. Anyway, blah blah blah. Elizabeth, hi. I applied for foundation year in maths. I have changed my mind and I don't want to go to my firm or insurance. Can I apply through clearing to do a foundation at Loughborough? Of course you can, Elizabeth. Of course you can. You can apply to do anything the hell you want. It doesn't have to be maths. Can I send you a personal message? And you can. I'm going to be honest. I have too many unread, and after this, I need to speak to my husband. He's been away for a week, and I'm not sure how much I'm going to get through. So if you can grin and bear it and put it public, do it. But otherwise, I'll try my best, but I can't guarantee. Is it possible to not receive any verbal offers? Yeah, and it is, but I would say you're probably not making a diverse range of verbal offer phone calls. I don't think I've worked with any student who didn't receive a verbal offer. What's your opinion about law course at Greenwich or Brunel University? And I would be skeptical of it. I'm always skeptical of law courses, regardless of the university. I would ask about employability stats like that. I think law is an oversubscribed course. Everyone does law. There's only about, I don't know, only 30% go actually into working as lawyers after. And I think you are not necessarily giving yourself the best advantage going to a university like that with law. Cutting, I know. But I would say, can you look at another provider? Econ and management at KCL, I doubt it. I don't think it will be in clearing. Do you mention extenuating circumstances on a clearing call? Yeah, why not? Add it all in. Like, don't withhold any information. If you're withholding any information, just don't share it all. Share it all there and then. How does UCL operate clearing? Faye, I literally just did a last video where I was very low in energy, but realised it was way in my drafts and I couldn't believe I didn't post it. So clearing operates, UCL clearing is kind of the same. They say that it's different, but it's not really. Essentially, the courses are available on their website, not on UCAS. For some reason, they don't share it. I don't know why. It's basically a branding piece. And if once you have your results, you fill in a clearing form. You make sure that clearing form has a receipt once it's been acknowledged, and then within 3 days, UCL will get back to you. The unfortunate thing is the timing, but that's it. That's how it operates. Is clearing for law at Nottingham Trent Uni good? Yes, Nottingham Trent is great. Wasan, if I have diagnosed problem with my neck, can I get lower grades for uni? Well, you're going to have to talk about why that's not on your UCAS, when that was diagnosed, how that's impeded you academically, and how it's not going to impede you in the future. So have a think, potentially. Where can I see what's available for clearing as it changes throughout the day? Page on UCAS isn't clear. Well, I would say it is UCAS. You just need to put the filter in. What's not clear about it? Make it clear. Let's make it clear for you, because it needs to be clear. Psychology at UCL, no. Psychology at King's, no. I would say unlikely. Psychology with something else, possible. Do you know if there are foundation year physics appearing? Foundation year in physics. Yeah, do you know if there are a foundation year physics course available on clearing? Let's have a look. Again, I'm just going to assume you live in England, just because. Physics with foundation. Sorry. Yep. So Newcastle has physics with foundation. Nottingham Trent has physics with foundation. Leicester has it. Southampton has it. Surrey has it. UEA has it. Loughborough has it. That's interesting. But you just got to check the prerequisite eligibility requirements. Sheffield has it. So yeah. Contextual students, will they be a bit more lenient? Yeah, I think they will. Should I mention how I started taking ADHD medication the day before my first exam? Yes, but do you know what I'm going to say? It kind of begins to sound a little bit beggy, and I think you've got to professionalize yourself a little bit, and I think it's really difficult, isn't it? Look, going back to my initial point, share it all. Why not? But just try and keep checking yourself that you're not sounding too beggy. Whatever that means. Lana Ray, if a course isn't on UCAS clearing at all tomorrow, can I still call them? Or does that mean they're full? It doesn't mean they're full, it just doesn't mean that they're published yet. So I wouldn't. No. What is the probability that neuroscience or natural science would be in clearing for Bristol or UCL? I think neuroscience for Bristol, yeah. Natski for Bristol, maybe. UCL, I think no for either of those. Does it make a difference what uni you get a pharmaceutical degree from? Not really, no, because as long as you graduate with a professional qualification from wherever, you'll be fine. So yeah, there we go, Shayna. Right, Insta. Should you call UCL or prioritise others? I would prioritise others, because with the wonderful world of UCL, you could do the form at the same time as waiting on the phone to the next provider. You only call UCL to do the form with them over the phone. You won't get the verbal offer phone call. So yeah, I would do both. Alvina, what happens if I don't get my first choice, but I get my insurance choice? Can I go back to my first through clearing? I have checked. You can, but I would say it wouldn't be wise to do that initially. Why? Because they will do what they can to keep you, and if they really can't keep you, then I think it's kind of, unless you've got new information, I think it's a bit of a moot point. Can I apply to the University of Liverpool if I did only 5 GCSEs to medicine and surgery as a substitute during my GCSEs? Do you mean for the first time, or do you mean through clearing? You absolutely can have a go. For University of Liverpool, like 70% relies on the UCAT, so it's all about the UCAT. When you mean a wide breadth of options for clearing, meaning courses, what would you recommend with course for drama and English? So what I mean by wide breadth is I mean UCAS tariff points. So drama and English, what a good course, love it. I think actually that was the course I started on, and then I realised I missed sociology too much. I haven't done any posts on the Professor Arde scandal, by the way, because there's lots of reasons, but I do have an opinion on it. Anyway, so Leeds, that was my insurance. Defo have a go at Leeds. Defo have a go at Exeter. Defo have a go at Royal Holloway. Defo have a go at Sussex. I'm giving you a breadth. Defo have a go at UEA. And then you've already got a real breadth there, to be honest. Have a go at Birmingham. Drama and creative writing. So yeah, there we go. Come back tomorrow and let us know how you go. Which university is best for placements in economics? I mean, I would say, to be honest, economics at a top 10, top 20 university, your happy days. But Warwick is probably the best one. Do we have until 1 p.m. to decide on clearing course, or is it finish off for competitive courses by 8? Oh my gosh, no. Competitive courses I would say will run till the end of the day. No, you have longer than that. You can start adding a clearing choice from 1 p.m, but you have longer than that. So it's now 12 past 9. I reckon maybe I've got another 20 minutes of energy to carry on. So if you've asked a question before and you feel like, oh, I've got something, then I'm sorry, but I'm going to try and prioritise people that haven't asked a question and just carry on. And I'm also going to try and focus on questions that I haven't covered. So yeah. Yeah, thanks. Mia, is there any way you could share the WhatsApp group details? If you go to my website, you can put the link in for people to sign up. That's a great shout if you want some kind of support offline. No, you can't get verbal offer from UCL. Thanks, guys. Is it possible to get many verbal offers from the same? Yes, you can get loads of verbal offers. Yeah. From the same uni, if it depends, I think you probably get two. How do I think people did for AQA Sociology? Embargo. Thank you, everyone. I've got a message from Surrey confirming my place early for a conditional midwifery course. Fake. Plymouth. Home students can... I'm not sure about that one. Wait until you've got your results and you'll know if it's fake or not. How do you get the message? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, Mia, could you share it here? Do I think digital marketing will be in clearing? Yes, I do. Is it possible my BTEC grades have already been given to UCAS earlier, which is why I got a UF? What's a UF? Unplaced? What's a UF? Universities have already got your grades. I'm not sure about that one. Do you call the uni directly first if you miss your grade? No, you call the other universities and then you call the one that you've been rejected from. Bella, my teachers wouldn't give me a reference for circumstances if I don't get in. Can I call firm and say, you can, Bella, you can. Batdragon, what are the best degrees to go through clearing, like practicality, etc.? What do you mean, Batdragon? What do you mean, the best degrees to go through clearing, like practicality? I don't know what you mean, but you've asked the question 3 times. Will a uni stick to... Just ask it a different way. What do you mean practicality? Will a uni stick to an accommodation contract if you go through clearing instead of your offer? That's a really good question. As in, if you go through the same university but a different course, that's a question you're going to have to ask them. In a way, no, because they won't know that you're going through that. After Pearson deadline to lock my... Okay, so an unconditional. Great. Deadline to lock in my grades. Yeah, okay, so if you do BTEC, there's an element of how much they know, and essentially your coursework grades have already met their minimum expectations, so yeah, happy days. So Anna, what would I say if the firm, university, if you're making a phone call from the firm that rejected you, this is, by the way, only after you've made a couple of other verbal offer phone calls. I'd say, hi, listen, I know I was holding an offer from your university. I know I have been declined. I just want to have a conversation to see if there's any availability or any chance that you might reconsider. Here is the information that you might not know, X, Y, Z. I'm currently working on a remark. I am doing X, Y, and Z to increase my knowledge of X. Is there any chance? Can I call back tomorrow? What about Monday? It's more asking them questions as opposed to this is what to say. Do I have to be really rushed for a competitive course? How long do they sell out? So no, I would say you just need to be on it from 10 till 12. Basically, like a degree that is very useful, transferable, if you see what I mean, one that's really worth it. I get it. So what did you do, Batdragon? What did you study? Because that's kind of important. If you did applied science, have a look at pharmacy, have a look at nursing. My God, we need more nurses. If you did anything, have a look at teaching and education. You could go into UCL and go into teaching. My God, we need teachers. Oh, no problem, Mia. I don't know if you want to go to, there's like shorten my URL and just put the link to my website. Anyway, studied humanities, want to do clearing for. Batdragon, go into teaching. Do it. Don't do law. Law's for boring people. It's not. Do teaching. That's one of the most practical degrees you could do. For humanities, I mean, you could also go into marketing. You could go into journalism. You could go into what's practical. You could go into like counselling or therapy. You could go into social work. What? Jaden, I know. Sorry, mate. I mean, you didn't study law, let's be honest. No, look, law is an amazing subject. It is. I just try and do my best to kind of steer people away from it. for loads of reasons. And also Tom, oh my god. It's Saba, it's an amazing subject, but one to do carefully and selectively. But their website, what other unis do that to? Liverpool doesn't do clearing calls. Let's have a look. University of Liverpool clearing. I would be surprised. So what is clearing? Start your application. Learn about the process. Find your course. We'll review your application. So there's a link to apply online and keep you updated by text message. If you're accepted, your email. You can still call them. You can still call them. They're not going to turn it down. Right. Back to Insta. I have a place for geography at Bristol. How do I defer it? So you will you should have deferred it before now, but ask on the clearing phone call. You'll probably get an email to put that request through, and then they'll let you know in about 5 working days. There we go. Okay. On UCAS, Econ is in clearing for University of Birmingham and Nottingham, but on each website it's not there. Should I still call? Yeah, if it's still there tomorrow. What unis would you say are good for law but might also have places available through clearing? Well, I'll tell you, mate. Again, I'm assuming you are England. So currently, law at the moment, Bristol, amazing. Cardiff, UEA, Exeter, Edinburgh. Oh, hang on. Search for clearing courses. Sorry. Law. Right, start again. Law, Aston, Cardiff, University of Law, Lancaster, Leicester, Liverpool, Loughborough, Nottingham Trent, Oxford Brookes, Queen's Belfast. So quite a few. Sheffield, quite a few. Sparkle Stardust Flower, great name. Which are good universities in clearing for politics, international relations, and French? Let's have a look. Politics, international relations, and French. Tom, isn't that your bag? Politics, international relations. I'm just going to look at politics and international relations first. Cardiff is politics and international relations and languages. So that's bang on. Perfect. Birmingham is just politics and international relations. You could probably add a language. Exeter. Politics, international relations. Let's just do. Sorry, I've got something on my nose. Royal Holloway, York, but that's Spanish. Sussex. York also has French. Southampton, Leicester, there's loads. Languages always comes up in clearing. It's not as popular. King's had it. So there we go, loads. Megan, I'm deferring my offer for marketing at Uni Leeds next year. If I miss it, is it better to just reapply or go through clearing and ask if I could defer on the call? If I miss it, better to just reapply. If you miss your offer, you won't be able to defer it. So yeah, it would be better to reapply, basically. But if you get it, then you will just email. Ashir, you can't get it advanced now because it's tomorrow. You can't get verbal offers tonight. So the time you'll get verbal offers starts tomorrow. You could have got verbal offers from the moment you got your results, but yeah, basically you can get it from tomorrow. Which unis? Should I register for clearing updates for unis? Yeah, why not? It's the same principle as sharing information, right? The more information, the better. Do unis fill out places after verbal calls or only after the clearing places have entered UCAS? Only after the clearing places have entered UCAS. And it's the same thing. Universities give out more verbal offers than they have. Similarly, universities beginning of January give out more offers than they have places. JCQ is the name, is the brand for the qualifications that include A-level, BTEC, Welsh exams, stuff like that. I did IB, but I missed my offer and they're waiting until A-levels. Will they confirm my offer tomorrow? Yes. Yes, they will. They're basically waiting to compare and contrast with other students who also missed that offer. Will I have proper access to UCAS 8 AM tomorrow? What's your previous experience about UCAS? So you will have proper access to UCAS. There might be a slight delay. Maybe it's 8:02. Maybe there's a little bit of a blip. Sometimes there was. Last year there hasn't been a blip at all. But yeah, you will get proper access. If I don't get into my firm, but I'm doing a gap year, what do I do? You will reapply next year. Which is better, education and psychology at Durham or psychology and education at Warwick? So it depends upon which one you want to major in. And I think the one that you want to major in is psychology and education. So I would go for psychology and education at Warwick. Because the first one is the one that is the dominant qualification. Yeah, it is first come, first serve. Yeah. Do you think it's better to look at UCAS first or your results? Cordelia, I think personally, I think it's better to look at your results. Because think about, this is a random metaphor, the results are your artillery, or like, results are your ammunition. Your UCAS is your weapon. You cannot fire blanks. Lol, you need ammunition. The results fire you through clearing. So you need to get your results first. And same thing, Bella. Oh, great. So I don't have a clearing code because I haven't declined my offer yet in clearing. Correct. And you don't need a clearing code. Oh, great. Yeah. What happens if I don't have a clearing code because I haven't declined my offer? Yeah, nothing. You kind of, Sam, you kind of exist in this like kind of middle ground. I just need to check what time I actually need to be in work. Adama, maybe 8. Okay. If I apply for deferred entry, can I do clearing next year? Yes, you can. How do I defer? Beth, you will need to put it in writing and they will let you know within 5 days. Since UCL and some others do form instead, is it still first come, first serve before 1 PM? With UCL, yes and no, but ultimately your grades will come before the priority within reason. So if you got higher grades than me, but you applied a week later, you're not going to get the place. So it's a bit of both. No problem. I've just got a text from University of Surrey that my place has been confirmed. It's my firm. That's wicked, Lisa. They have broken the embargo. Can I just check, Lisa? Are you an international student? How does UCL clearing work quickly? Is it different? Yes, Sam. Check out my last video. I've literally just did my last video on it. Are there multiple? There are generally multiple numbers to call. So call the number that they have either given you or that's on my tracker. I'm a UK student. Okay. I mean, that shouldn't have happened because there is an embargo. But anyway, well done. How long Nottingham Trent clearing accepts? Sorry, do you know how long Nottingham Trent clearing accepts? Do you know how long? What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. Sorry, is it true that this year got the highest A stars rewarded? I only exist in my space academically, but yeah, for my subjects, then yeah, I'd say that's true. If I decide to keep my firm, but 2 weeks later want to decline it, reapply, is that allowed? It depends upon where you've got with your pre-enrollment. So there will be a certain degree of you need to do this by this point. If your pre-enrollment is outside of that 2 week window, yes, you should be okay. It only becomes contractually binding when you do pre-enrollment and you sign things. Oh, don't be terrified. Honestly, I promise you, it's not. I would say it's quite exciting tomorrow, honestly. How low grades? Okay, Nottingham Trent are generous. Do uni actually consider a distinction same as an A level? I saw a lot of clearing spaces they asked for an A. Yeah, distinctions are A's. How to calm nerves? Great question. I think practically option A, B, and C. So you've got actual practicalities. You've got, okay, if I don't get this, I can have a look at Southampton. If I don't get that, I can look at Lancaster. If I don't have that, I can look at Nottingham Trent. So kind of having a list of options, number one. Number two, I think it really is having an emotional big picture that tomorrow is not the end of the world, and whatever happens, there are multiple opportunities to become the greatest success that the world has ever seen, and there's also multiple opportunities for failure. But I think it's really trying your best to just put it into perspective. And I think it is also, nothing needs to be decided there and then. You have time. Even the most super selective courses won't need you to put something in until the end of the day on the 13th. That's the earliest that they can ask for. And that actually is quite a lot of time to go home, talk to loved ones and trusted people. So I would kind of say, know that you're not alone here. I'm here to support you back in tomorrow evening. Any other advice about how to calm nerves for the lovely student here? I'll have a think. Do unis such as Bath and Bristol operate on first come, first serve for econ courses? Yes, they do. No, not bad mouthing Nottingham Trent. You can see it as being one of the most amazing universities, because they flex so much and they really do try and support as many students into the university as possible. And I think Nottingham Trent's amazing university. I really do. I was shouting its praises today. I wish running out of time was declared with results. I've definitely fumbled a grade or two. To be honest, I'm really glad that they don't, because ultimately, well, look, every university knows how flawed exams are. That's why they don't run exams like A levels and BTECs do. But you don't really want them to know all the foibles of your kind of process. I think they are educators and they know the ins and outs. Sorry, that wasn't very clear. I think I've lost energy. Annie, only call it if it's in clearing. Right, is there a possibility that good unis like King's might accept BTEC if they have course available in clearing? Yeah, King's generally do accept BTEC for various courses. So yeah, currently I cannot see any clearing course at Edinburgh for UK students. Is that likely to change? Yes, I think so. It will. If I decide that I want to do a gap year instead, how do I reject my offers from my firm or my insurance? You will just decline it on UCAS, but take your time with that. You don't need to do it immediately. Yes, so King's does accept BTEC and will accept BTEC. You have to ring up to find out. Could be a waste of time. Yeah, so why doesn't Bristol update clearing grades? I don't know which university does to publicly declare their clearing grades. I don't think they do. And that's because it's a publicity stunt. They're protecting their reputation. And also, ultimately, it's a great thing because they are extenuating, sharing a degree of flexibility depending upon your context. And ultimately, they don't want everyone to know that. And I think that's really valid. If you're young, so can you apply for a place through clearing if you're a young person interviewed with Nottingham earlier in the year but didn't secure a place due to how competitive the course was? So yes, that's an interesting one, Joey, that you essentially reapply in clearing for a course that you were originally rejected from. Yes, you can. Yes, basically. Yes, Ashir, you get verbal offers before rejecting your insurance. Okay. Right, I'm going to take let's take 5 more questions. Guys, if you have still got a burning question, both at Insta and TikTok, and I haven't answered it, please write it now. Burning questions. And Jade and Amir, if there's a key question you feel like I haven't answered, please feel free to write it as well. If you are sleeping tonight, it's an absolute priority. Come on, life's important. Your health is important, God damn it. How do you trust a verbal offer when you have to fill in a form? A, make sure you've got acceptance of that form. B, record you doing that form. And C, just know that, well, it's in writing anyway, so that's probably the highest guarantee. How did I make the template for clearing? So I made it on my AI that I pay for, using what I wanted to put into it. I've already answered that. So, thank you, Ruby. There will be more law courses available in clearing at Russell Group, so you need to worry. Oh, sorry, will there be? Yes, there will. And then lots of these questions about kind of second guessing tomorrow. If my course in clearing, does that mean good news for me or bad news? I think, look, speculate however it helps you, frankly. Can I apply for clearing or contextual offer grades or university to take the highest grade? You absolutely can, Moji. Absolutely can. Durham do clearing. And yes, you can switch subjects. And you can hold multiple verbal offers. Very important, yes. Yep, you've got an unconditional offer and you can absolutely apply to get more verbal offers. Max, I've literally done a video of that, of how adding a clearing choice looks on your UCAS. Please just look over my profile. Great. Accommodation questions. I applied for accommodation on results saying got it. Yeah, great. So Mia's saying that loads of questions on accommodation. So universities generally hold a percentage of accommodation back for clearing candidates. Now that is a reason to move quickly over the fact that like maybe the university is saying you can give us till Monday, but actually you need to think about the accommodation. So ask the question and then move quickly. Kiel, I'd say, Bella. Yeah, Bath, Bristol, Warwick. I mean, they will all ask why you're specific in a course, but it won't be a kind of your answer will dictate the result. Yeah, Jaden saying it very real. And to be fair, I was stressed out. Yeah, I don't know why I'm like, you're going to sleep. If you get accommodation from clearing, just be aware you won't have much flexibility. Yeah, it's so true. I know. I bet. Right. What are some important things we have to discuss on clearing? Okay, so number 1, can I get a verbal offer? Number 2, is accommodation guaranteed? Number 3, can I check the finances? And number 4, how long do I have before I confirm or before this verbal offer gets extinct? Okay. How do you trust a verbal offer filling in a form? I already responded to that question. It's a really valid question. Basically, it's in writing. As long as you've got a confirmation of having sent that form and making sure that that email is a trusted email in your email, it doesn't just go to spam, you'll be fine. Yes, Thurka, yes. Right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get prepared for tomorrow. I will be at school all morning. I think I have I've shared a TikTok, a scheduled one to be like, how are you getting on? But as Mia is saying, a really good suggestion, and I actually haven't checked with either Mia or Jaden if this is okay, but I would suggest everyone joining my WhatsApp group just to get a bit of support. You just go to my website. It's a free WhatsApp community. Just join it. And absolutely, as Mia saying, if you want to send any unanswered questions in the chat on WhatsApp, please do. Yes, exactly, Mia. I probably won't be replying because I need a break. But I'm going to be back here tomorrow at 8:30 to see how you're all getting on. I think the key things I'm going to say, I'm not going to answer any questions now, so feel free to go if you're like, shut up, Clem. Just know that this is a mutually beneficial decision. It's about you finding the right place as much as them filling places. You are the client. You are the one going to be paying. And guys, remember, the amount of money you're going to be putting forward to this is a huge deal. So you need to make sure it's the right one. Pooping bricks. What the hell does that mean? My son was trying to poo in the middle of a field whilst watching the solar eclipse tonight, which was hilarious and stressful. Ava, go to my website, clementinemway.co.uk, shop free, and there we go. But yeah, you don't need to decide anything if you don't want to, and just work your way through it pragmatically, calmly, and with help. All right. But yeah, we every one of you, there's been about 2,000 people on across this whole live. You're all going through it, and you will get through it, and you'll be absolutely grand and dandy. I teach English and sociology. Right, but I won't be teaching this year. I'm just going to be focusing on admissions, but I will miss it. Anyway, sending love. I'll be back live tomorrow night if you would like me to be. And I think you are all going to be amazing. And you'll all go through it and you'll be like, oh, wow, I've got this. So have courage, my friends. Share anything. If you've got a question, share it. And just make sure you know how long you have before you need to make a decision. I wish you all so much luck. So much luck. All right, guys. I'm going to shut this down. Let's go. Love it. Right, how do I end this live? That is the question, my friends. End stream.